We are now going to discuss the MediaPlayer class, one of the major classes for supporting audio and video, both playback and recording in Android. The MediaPlayer class is a standard method for manipulating both audio and video. The playback is supported by using the MediaPlayer class, and the recording part is supported by the allied class called as the Media Recorder class. Now, whether you use the media player or the media recorder, they will automatically create a background thread for processing of the audio or video. Okay, and it requires the audio to be available either as a file, either in the raw folder of your application or on the storage of your device, or you should be streaming the audio or video from a server. So all these three possible approaches for supporting audio and video are available with the media player and the media recorder class. How do you use the media player? Now, before we employ the media player, we have to, of course, create a media player object. So this we do by calling the new media player method. And when you create the media player, then you would supply the source of the media for the player. If you are using a file from the resource folder of your application, then you would use media player and create method. And this create method takes a context and the ID of the media file to be played. If you are using a file that is stored on your device storage, or if you are streaming a file from a server, then you would first set the data source and by giving a path for finding the source of the file, either on the device storage or from a server. So the first method that you would call is set data source, and then after that you would call the prepare method or prepare async method. If your preparation takes a longer period of time, then you should be using a prepare async method, which will then call back your class to inform that the media is now ready for playback. We did not deal with the handling of the file or stream in the example earlier. We only dealt with the case where the media file is already in the raw folder of your application. To begin playback of your media, you would call the start method of your media player. To pause the playback at any point in time, you will call the pause method. And similarly, for controlling the stop of the playback, then you would call the stop. And if you don't want to use the media player anymore, you call the release method. At this point, the media player object is destroyed, and next time if you need to play, you need to create a new media player object. The media player provides a rich API for playing out long playing media streams. So for example, if you have a music file, or if you have a long video recording that you need to play back, then the media player is the right class for playing out these recordings. Now, the media player supports seeking operations on your media and also can do buffering of the source. However, the media player as a class is a heavyweight class, which means that to set up and run it, it takes a lot of work to be done, and which also means that it is very slow to initialize. So if you need to play back sounds that require very low latency, like for example, if you need sounds for a game, then the media player is not the most appropriate method of playing back the sounds. However, sustained playback of music or audio is quite acceptable with the MediaPlayer class. And in general, if you are using a media player within your application, you should normally not have more than one or two media player objects open at the same time. So with this, we will move on to the next exercise where we will examine a different class called as the sound pool class, which is better designed for supporting playing back of sounds with very low latency.